I'm Danielle, and my major is pre-business.
And I'm Nazia, and I'm a pre-nursing student, and today we're going to be talking about insufficient sleep and its effects on appetite. There's 5 stages of sleep in a sleep cycle. A sleep cycle is about 90 minutes, and in the first stage you're kind of in between wakefulness and unconsciousness, essentially. And you can easily be awoken then, and then in stage 2, it's categorized by these sleep spindles. I'm too short to kind of point it out, but it's up there. And it's like when your body temperature is decreasing and your heart rate is also decreasing. And stage 3, you're entering a more like deep sleep. And stage 4 is categorized by these delta waves, but it's also a much more deeper sleep. And then stage 5 is known as your rapid eye movement sleep, and it's basically when dreaming occurs, and essentially all your muscles are relaxed, but all your other like bodily systems are active. Most people don't get like enough sleep to sustain themselves. This is from the National Sleep Foundation, and according to it, college students should be getting around 8 to 9 hours of sleep, but studies show that they normally have around 6 to 7. While this 1 hour may not seem like much when you look at it like night-wise, over the span of like a week, you could be losing like a night's worth of sleep. And insufficient sleep can lead to several health problems such as moodiness, trouble with memory, because sleep is really important in learning and it helps you recall information. And it also affects appetite, which we'll be discussing today. There's lots of signs for insufficient sleep. If you feel really tired after a night's worth of sleep, you probably aren't receiving a sufficient amount of sleep. And if you feel the constant need to like nap every day or drink over 4, caffeinated beverages, then you probably aren't receiving enough sleep. So there's lots of factors that can play into insufficient sleep with college students. One of them is stress and worry, because it prevents you from entering those deeper stages of sleep. But these are all conquerable factors. Another one is sleep disorders that can be treated with like counseling or medication sometimes. And there's also a lot of roommate problems that can occur because you're not really used to like living with somebody else. So somebody might have a different sleeping schedule from you, or they may sleep with the light on or snore obnoxiously loud. So you can wear maybe like an eye mask or earplugs to prevent those issues from affecting you. And now Danielle is going to discuss more of the effects on appetite.
Okay, there are 3 main effects that insufficient sleep has on appetite. Number 1 is that less satisfaction with meals, which means that it takes more to make you full, which can lead to overeating and which can lead to increased consumption of unhealthy foods, because that often means that you're snacking at night and eating at like random times and you keep eating, so it could lead to negative health effects. Leptin is a hormone that tells your body and your brain when you're full. And in a study from Chicago, they tested 12 healthy men for leptin and ghrelin levels, and basically they monitored them for after 2 days of sleep deprivation and 2 days of extended sleep, and they found that after insufficient sleep that leptin levels decreased, which meant that it took more to make you full, which can lead to overeating. And then ghrelin is a hormone that stimulates appetite. So with decreased leptin comes increased ghrelin, which means that you're overeating and taking more to make you full. So for increased consumption of unhealthy foods, which was the other consequence of insufficient sleep, there's cortisol, which is a hormone that comes with stress and sleep deprivation, and an increase in cortisol can slow down your metabolism. Also, higher cortisol levels lead to increase in cravings for unhealthy foods that are like sugary and fatty, which can cause also negative health effects like obesity, which is a popular. So here are some tips for sufficient sleep. Number one is that if you establish a set schedule on when you want to go to sleep, then your body gets adjusted to the patterns, and it's easier to fall asleep at night and easier to wake up in the morning. Number two is if you finish eating 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed every night, then you can fully digest your food and it doesn't like keep you up at night. Number three is if you avoid caffeine and alcohol like close to bedtime, which also could keep you up at night. And then lastly, if you have a smartphone, you can get the app Sleep Cycle or SleepBot tracker, which can help you record your sleep schedule and to regulate it and figure out your sleep cycles, which also you can use a sleep diary for. So for resources at Emory, number one is Office of Health Promotion, where you can find a sleep diary, which she's going to pass out for you now. A sleep diary is where you can record when you go to sleep, when you take naps, when you work out, when you have caffeine, so it's easier to like figure out what's keeping you up at night if you're having trouble. Number two is the Emory Sleep Center, in which you can make an appointment and they can do sleep testing for see what's keeping you up at night, such as like sleep apnea, which a lot of people have, which can cause trouble breathing while sleeping, which can cause insufficient sleep. And at the Emory Sleep Center, they can do treatment services if they find you have a problem, and they can provide medication for you. And the last option we have is if it's stress that's keeping you up at night, like the high cortisol levels, or the roommate issues, then you can go to the stress management classes, and they have like a 6-week program where they can, which there's a flyer for. Yeah, you could just pass it around. A 6-week program with like a lot of different class options that can help you, like they can coach you through getting more sufficient sleep so you can live a healthier life.
So these are resources.
Can you just leave this up for a second?
What was the title of the presentation again?
Insufficient sleep and appetite.